Gardner-Webb coach Trey Lamb, the Running Bulldogs, ranked 24th and 25th in the FCS polls. They're going to start the season on Saturday at FBS foe Appalachian State. So, Coach, it's been a couple month or so since Media Day. Just talk about your team and getting the season finally started this weekend.
Yeah, excited to have college football back as a whole, really. It's the best time of year. It's what we look forward to. We only get 11 guaranteed opportunities. There's a lot of practices, a lot of weight training sessions, a lot of meetings that go into this, a lot of recruiting. And this is what we live for. This is the best time of year. I think it's the purest form of football, nationwide is college football at the FCS level. And I'm excited to get going this year. Excited about our team. In year 3, we've made a lot of strides. We had a really, really good finish to last year's season. I'm looking to hopefully start a little quicker this year and get some more W's in the win column from the beginning. But just excited to be back with some OVC opponents, be back with our schedule. I think we got a very competitive FCS schedule, along with 2 Group of 5 games on the docket coming one this week at Appalachian State. I got a ton of respect for Coach Clark and the way they operate and the culture they've developed all the way going back to Jerry Moore and Coach Satt and Drink and now Coach Clark. They have not dropped off. They've got a great tradition, great history, great culture. They were FCS 10 years ago, and they've made unbelievable progress in the FBS. And I grew up going to games there at the Rock, and I can't wait to see it Saturday.
Thanks, Coach. We'll go to questions. And if you do have a question, if you let me know in the chat, I will call on people. But I'll go ahead and start, Jacob, since you were first. If you want to go ahead with questions for Coach Lamb, just unmute yourself and go ahead.
Coach, can you hear me?
Yep, I got you.
You've got a literal and figurative mountain to climb this week to come away with the victory. What's the keys to the game so far that you've identified? What's it going to take to come out of Appalachian State with a W on Saturday?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, we got to value the football. It's going to be a very loud environment, a very hyped up crowd. 2 football teams that are very excited to play. I think we got to control our emotions early and take care of the Rock. Value the football. We've got new quarterbacks that are going to play for us, and that's one of my main concerns, is being able to hold on to the football and take the ball away. And, I think Coach Clark said yesterday in his press conference, they're 15-1 when they win the turnover margin. So, App State does everything right. They're everything you want in college football. They play hard. They're blue collar. They run the football. They throw the ball deep. They have great quarterbacks since all the way going back to Armani and when he played there. So we're going to have to do everything in our power to take the football away and hold on to the football, and hopefully it bounces our way a little bit in the special teams game, and hopefully we can keep it close.
Jay, go ahead. Yeah, follow up. We got plenty of time. Go ahead.
How does playing those two Group of 5 games last year give y'all confidence going into this game? Because I know a couple of those games were really close against Coastal and Liberty.
Yeah, it certainly gives us confidence. I think our team has an attitude that we don't really care what logo's on your shirt, where we're playing the game. We're gonna control what we control and prepare how we prepare and play as hard as we can. And I think I would put our effort up against a lot of people in the country at all levels. I think we play really hard. That's something I take pride in as the head coach. And that's one thing we're going to do is we're going to play with our hair on fire at every position. It's going to be an aggressive style of football. We're going to play to win and not play scared against anybody. Now, that being said, they do have 85 scholarships and we got 63. And there's certainly some disadvantages when you go play Power 5 and Group of 5 teams. But I just think having that chip on our shoulder and trying to have a blue collar mentality of, hey, who cares? Let's control us. Let's try to do the best we can, and we can't control the outcomes.
If anybody else has questions for Coach, let me know down in the chat and I can call on you. Coach, every season's different. So you ended last season playoffs, really strong year. What have you learned about this group of team, though, in the month you've been practicing with, and that maybe you didn't know going into the season?
Yeah, I think, defensively, I think we're certainly got a lot of guys back. We struggled to move the ball first 2 weeks in training camp. We're really good on that side of the ball. I feel like Coach Reardon's done a really good job of recruiting and developing and keeping our best players here. And we've got some depth there. And really we didn't have that last year at certain positions. We brought in a few transfers that we think can provide that depth, and the competition this offseason has been greater than it's ever been because our roster's stronger. We have better players. We're at each position, and it takes, and in today's college football, nobody wants to give a coach 5-6 years because nobody has patience anymore. But in reality, now that I've done this and I've been a head coach since I was 30 years old, I'm 33 now. I see what people are talking. It takes getting into that third, fourth, fifth recruiting cycle to get your roster competitive. And, the first couple of years, you're having to do things out of necessity and run certain plays and schemes. And the competition is not really there because, hey, this guy's better than this guy. He's a freshman. He's not ready to play. Well, now I think we've gotten to the point where, hey, you can't show up and not perform in practice or in the meetings or in the weight room and expect to play on Saturdays because there's another guy at every position we feel like we can put in the game and be just as good. So I think the competition's been different. It's been better. We've got an older team, so I haven't probably beat them up as much as I have in the past as far as how we're practicing. They've learned how to practice. We're not having to tackle as much. Now it's still been physical. We've still done a ton of inside and running the football and point of attack sort of drills. But at the same time, I know what a lot of these guys on this team can do. They've played a bunch of snaps, and that's new this year. That for the first time, we kind of know what to expect.
Anybody else? Last chance. Questions for Coach Lamb? All right, Coach, thanks for your time this morning. Best of luck on Saturday. We'll talk to you again next Tuesday.
Awesome. Thank you, Kyle.